Hey fragrance friends, Danielle here with the second video in a weekend. I'm really proud of myself. So tonight I'd like to make an informal video about a very formal part of my collection, one of the more intense parts of my collection, one of the ones that I really had to invest some income into in order to get, and that is the Maison Christian Dior line, or their Christian Dior's Privé line. So I've got 5 bottles currently from that collection. I have Holy Peony, Gris Dior, Lucky, Feve Delicieuse, and Colle Noire. So I'm going to go through each of these fragrances, tell you a little bit about each one, do a little spritzing, do a little sniffing, and do a little evaluating. So what got me into this line originally, I saw something about Holy Peony somewhere, and I've always really loved peonies. They are just really beautiful flowers. My mother has always grown them in our yard as I was growing up, and so to this day I still really like them, and I'm always in the market for a really pretty peony fragrance. So when I heard about this, I thought, okay, well, I'll go ahead and buy it and see what happens. Went looking for it, couldn't find it anywhere. Found out later that you can only really get it through the Christian Dior website, and that it is, it's pricey. However, the quality of the fragrances from this line, I feel, make them a worthwhile investment for any collector. I can't see this being a series of fragrances that would be purchased by a casual collector. So I have a fraction of actually all of the fragrances. There are still a few on my list that I would like to get. The Cashmere, and I'm looking at a couple of others too. I keep on looking at Rouge Trafalgar, and there are several others as well that I'm interested in. So it's really the kind of house and line where you can keep building up your collection as it allows. But today I want to start with Holy Peony, since this was the one that got me into the whole deal. In fact, I did a video earlier and I have to work with it a little bit on my best friend. I have my best friend Anthony. I let him loose in my collection. I said pick 5 fragrances blindly and give us your first impression evaluation of them. And he did that, and actually this is one of the ones he picked up. But you'll see it from him, and I will also give you my own take on it as well. So one thing that I really like about this, first of all, I love the containers. I think the boxes are fantastic. They're really cute. They're stable. They're protective of the fragrances and the bottles. I love the fact that a lot of houses are starting to use magnetic caps. I think it's great. It's something great for somebody like me who is so accident prone and likes to drop things. In fact, my first week of having Amouage Reflection, I actually dropped it on the floor, and the one thing that really saved it from being a bad fall was the fact that I had a magnetic cap on it. So Holy Peony comes like so. Let's give a little spritz here. I have a friend from Russia, and she says spray, and I love it. And when she says it, it makes me so happy. So you'll notice the sprayer on here is really good. It's got a good, solid, decent sprayer. Okay, this fragrance is a warm, rich, creamy peony. It's just so pretty. It's so feminine. I don't see this being a fragrance for a man. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my own personal opinion. I can't really imagine smelling this on a man. You can smell the greenness in it, as if it's describing the entirety of the flower. So not just the actual flower itself, but the stem and the leaves. And I love it when floral fragrances do that, because my first true love of floral fragrances is, forgive my pronunciation, Baiser Volé by Cartier. And the idea behind that fragrance was, okay, we're going to talk about a lily in this fragrance, but we're also going to bring into the situation the greenness of the stem and the leaves and everything. And I feel that Holy Peony does that very same thing. As it starts to dry down, you get more of the floral, but in that initial spray, in my opinion, you get the greenness of the rest of the flower. But I think this is a really pretty floral, feminine fragrance. It's great for the summertime. I don't know if I'd wear it in the wintertime. It's actually kind of light for the wintertime. My best friend felt that it was a little too heavy, but I think it's actually really great. It actually starts to calm down very quickly. Not to the point where it's a skin scent, but it's inoffensive, which is really important to me with a fragrance. And if you go onto Christian Dior's website, they have like a dot system. So one dot is really low intensity, and like I think it goes up to 4 or 5. And the 4 or 5 obviously are the more intense fragrances, like the more stick with you for a while kind of fragrances. So that is Holy Peony right there, the very first one that I received from this collection. I was so excited about it. And I still am excited about it. Unfortunately, I haven't really worn it a whole lot lately because I like to save it because it's more of like it's not really an I'm going to the grocery store kind of fragrance. It's more of a I'm going to go somewhere else kind of fragrance, like somewhere that requires a little more dressiness. Okay, next one has a story with it that I really like to tell. This is Lucky. So this fragrance is a Lily of the Valley bomb. Like it's a beautiful, soft Lily of the Valley fragrance. And the reason why a Lily of the Valley fragrance is named Lucky is because Christian Dior, when sewing dresses or garments, would sew a piece of Lily of the Valley into the hem because he felt that it was good luck. So that is why this fragrance smells like Lily of the Valley and why it is called Lucky. So because apparently Lily of the Valley are good luck. Who knew? Maybe I'll have to start running around with the whole bouquet of Lily of the Valley in my hands all the time. Who knows? So again, with that really great atomizer. It's so pretty. This is definitely cooler than the Holy Peony. But again, you can smell the greenness in the very first spray, and it lingers for a few minutes after the spray, but it definitely smells really genuine Lily of the Valley. It's a white floral, pretty consistent with what a Lily of the Valley would smell like if you were out in the garden. It's like a cool greenness involved as well. I love it. It's very floral. If you don't like florals, you wouldn't like this. Again, another fragrance that I feel is better suited for women. Although I have seen men talk about using some of the other products in this line, such as body wash, in their daily bathing routine. So yes, and it starts, again, like the Holy Peony, it starts to kind of relax pretty quickly. Like it's a little bit aggressive on the first spray, but then it relaxes a little bit. The longevity on Lucky is not quite what I would want it to be. I wouldn't mind it lasting a little bit longer. If I wear it, I usually have to reapply. So, and a hint is that if you do make a purchase through the Christian Dior website, wait for when they're having like a deal. Like when they don't have a deal on prices, but they might offer some extras, like a larger bottle. I don't have it, but like with me, I don't think. Let me see. I thought I had it. I think I moved it. I had a larger sample of Gris Dior that I got once when I made a purchase. So if you have those can kind of, oh, here it is. This is not the larger one, but this will come with like, oh, this is just a regular size one. But they oftentimes will send samples, and also if you purchase enough, you can get more of a larger, I forgot what the measurement is, a larger sample. Okay, let's go in a different direction then, shall we? Let's talk about Feve Delicieuse, which I feel is one of the more popular ones. When I first started hearing about this line, this one was the one people were talking about. Complete departure from the first two we talked about, like total departure, complete 180, different direction entirely. This is a gourmand. And what's strange about this is that I did not like gourmands until very recently. I only wanted florals in my life. And now I still love florals. They're still my number one type of fragrance that I gravitate toward. However, I'm starting to like gourmand fragrances. So I don't know if my palate is maturing or what, but it is what it is. Okay, right off the top, I'm actually like smelling almost like a bourbon vanilla type vibe. It's spicy and it's warm. Definitely I would not wear Feve Delicieuse in the summertime. This is definitely unisex. For sure. I can almost maybe smell it more in a man than I could on a woman, but it's good for both. Yeah, the spice, as it dries, the spice starts to come out, but I definitely feel like, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I definitely feel like the initial burst right out of the bottle is like almost like a bourbon smell with vanilla and spice. So it's definitely a gourmand. It's definitely a spicier fragrance. I would not call it an oriental spice, but it's definitely a gourmand for sure. And I do like it. It's got a time and a place. This is not a fragrance I would wear every day. To like the grocery, I keep on just using the grocery store as an example, but that's my barometer for normalcy is the grocery store. So I would not wear this just anywhere. I would wear this to like for a date night or a special occasion of some kind of party or going out or whatever. So keep that in mind. Next is Gris Dior. And if you watch other channels, you probably heard about this before. I actually bought this. It's very rare, actually, that I buy a fragrance on a reviewer's recommendation. I like to smell them myself first, but I'm also really impulsive. So chances are, if a fragrance sounds good to me when people are describing it, I'll just go big and buy the full bottle right away, which is why I have that collection in there that I have. So you've seen it. Okay, I have trouble describing this fragrance. This is definitely a clean fragrance. It's a floral, but not aggressively floral like Holy Peony and Lucky. This is like maybe more of a spicy floral, if that makes sense to me and to you, both of us. It's definitely cooler. I love this. I wear this all the time. I wore this out right before Corona happened. And I got all sorts of compliments on it. And again, I repeat, compliments are not the reason why I wear fragrance. I don't think compliments should be the reason why anyone wears fragrance. I think that our own like of a fragrance should be why we wear it. I get really irked, honestly, when people make fragrance about getting compliments, because it's not. Like, if I'm wearing a fragrance and I love it, I feel confident and I feel good about myself. I don't need other people to tell me that I smell good. I know that I smell good. Earlier today, I went to a farmer's market. It was hot out, it was humid, and it was cloudy. So I wore my natural mood lifter, which is Petite Chérie by Annick Goutal. Nobody told me it smelled good. I knew it smelled good. I didn't need to be told it smelled good. I love Petite Chérie. It makes me so happy. Like, just thinking about it makes me smile. Okay, so the last one we're going to review today is Colle Noire, which I think is my most recent acquisition, in fact. Okay, so when I first got Colle Noire, I didn't really know what to think. It smells a little bit like Holy Peony, and I'm also concerned that if I buy Rouge Trafalgar, there's going to be some overlap there. When you first smell Colle Noire, it's rose. It's like hard rose. But then as it dries down, it starts to almost take on a fruity note, which is where it might intersect with Rouge Trafalgar. Yeah. But it definitely smells kind of similar to Holy Peony on the first spray, but without the greenness and with more of the rose, for sure. And as it starts to, as I mentioned before, as it starts to die down, definitely possesses more of that rosy tone. I would call this a cooler floral, even though it's strange that a rose would be a cooler floral. It's definitely not that warm creaminess of, say, Holy Peony. It's definitely more of like a potent floral, not like a, but it's definitely a rose-based fragrance, and it's very pretty. I wear it during the day all the time. It's inoffensive, it's light, but you can also wear it at night too. So I did want to just do this review really quick because I feel like it's a pretty versatile line of fragrances. I'm looking forward to adding some more to my collection, but for now I'm pretty satisfied with where I am in terms of the fragrances that I actually have from this line. I think it's a very high quality line. It's definitely worth the money. If you're wondering, like if you're thinking to yourself, is this a worthy investment for my collection? Then I think yes. But again, I don't recommend it for people who are maybe not as into fragrances. It might not do that much for you for the cost involved in acquiring the fragrances. So overall, though, really great line. I'm so impressed with all of the fragrances. I would have no problem purchasing more at all in the future. In fact, I'm looking, as I mentioned, into getting a couple of more in the near future. So I hope this helped if you're curious about this line, or if you're thinking about making a purchase, or if maybe it's just new to you and you didn't know. I actually have a ton of Dior fragrances. I'm definitely a big Dior fan, so I'm sure I'm going to do some more Dior reviews in the future, but I have nothing but great things to say about the Maison line, and if you've tried them, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from those of you who maybe have others that I don't have, and your opinions and maybe some recommendations. So again, super last minute Saturday night video. Thank you for watching. I hope wherever you are, you're happy, healthy, and having fun, and I will see you next time. Toodles!